age. And the last ice age wasn't even the coldest ice age. There have been colder ones. Now, we are finding more and more scientists are saying we are heading into a Maunder minimum or an ice age, and a grand solar minimum, and the world's going to change. This is starting to become the accepted fact. And it is going to happen. It's part of what we are into right now as far as a different cycle. Now, they're in disagreement as to how cold it's going to get. There are some that say we will see a typical mini ice age cooling of maybe 1.5 or 2 degrees centigrade. Others, 5 degrees centigrade. Others say it's going to be a full-fledged ice age with even greater cooling on the planet. So they're not in consensus. It's not like everybody is saying it's going to be this amount. There's big disagreement, and there's big disagreement in how long it's going to last. And you can see right here, I mean, our world is going to change if this is the new reality, with ice spread all across the north, snow year-round, in the summer too, and the vast majority of northern countries, northern hemisphere countries. So this is going to really change things, especially in a planet that has 7.5 billion people heading towards 8 billion. Whereas, when the other ice ages happened, we don't know in antiquity how many people were here. But for sure, in the last ice age, there wasn't the population we have now. And, one thing that's really interesting, this is Null School, which is a great resource. And it's showing the temperature, and it's showing this is the most upper level winds on the planet. And you can tell the direction of the planet's turning by the belt going this way. And one of the things I've noticed is this huge vortex, which we get. We do get a polar vortex in the winter, but this one just looks abnormally large, and it's very interesting the way it's gone. Very strong too. And so it gives us an idea about what's happening on the planet. And these do change with the seasons. If we look at like the South Pole now, it's very tranquil because it's summer down in there. And this is such a great tool. If we go to like surface temps, then you can see the surface temperatures. And really, truly, in an ice age, the best place to be is probably in Africa. And perhaps that's why China is doing their One Road project, and there's so much interest with both the Chinese and the United States in Africa at the moment. Because as we can see, the darker color, like the darker red, is more heat. Green are temperate colors, yellows are nice and warm, blue is cold, and then purple is absolutely frigid when you look at this. So you could see, Africa is going to be pretty much the warmest place. Now, there's different things happening this time than a simple GSM or a Maunder minimum, because we also now are getting the scientists to admit that the poles are flipping. They are in the process of flipping. And we know that when the poles flip for a brief time, our magnetosphere drops to virtually nothing, And either way, as we go into this pole flip, we're going to have more and more radiation coming in. And that is probably a big part of their chemtrail spraying, is to try to decrease the radiation effects and bounce the energy back off out into space. Now, more cloud cover means greater cooling. And we're going to have volcanoes going off at a huge rate, exponential rate, and we're going to have a lot more cloud cover. So all these things are tied into each other. And as we know, those people that have lived in a northern climate and then moved to the south, your mood gets better because you tend to get a lot more sunshine. And cloud cover decreases the vitamin D we're receiving, and for a lot of people it can bring on depression. And also that obviously will suppress your immune system. And a lot of times we have these mass extinctions which come through because of food scarcity, but also because of the fact that people's whole systems are getting weaker.